So, Ronnie, this is a cask from the first distillery I ever visited. Believe
How
it or
long
not.
ago was that?
Many years. I think I was maybe 12 years old, and had a day out with. I was staying round about Pitlochry on holiday, and my dad took me round Blair Athol, and I was thoroughly bored at the time. But it's a beautiful distillery. It's an old Victorian distillery, one of the oldest in Scotland, quite distinguished. Built late 1700s, and especially if you go at the right time of year, it's kind of covered in red ivy. I think it's a very beautiful distillery.
I always remember it as being covered with sort of, that I can't remember the Latin name for it, but the fungus that you see outside any distillery or warehouse that has.
Yeah, sort of black.
It's
I focus on the red ivy,
very,
but
very dark. I seem to remember, but it's. I mean, the occasional cask that comes from the distillery that they allow out, because most of it was destined for bells, wasn't it, in its early days, and so Blair Athol really wasn't known as a single malt in the 70s and 80s. We didn't really talk about it because we didn't see much of it around. And I don't think Barry's bottled any Blair Athol before.
had a
the last
few,
sort of 10 years.
a few over the years, and they've often been very. They've often been in refill casks, which lets the distillate shine through. That kind of nice, kind of stewed apple note often found with Blair Athol. But this guy is actually from ex-Californian red wine barrique.
Is that what it is? It's giving something which is very unusual and actually very interesting, very attractive. And it gives a lovely sort of fruitiness and syrupy and treacly top notes.
Yeah, lots of spice. I mean, for me, it's not dissimilar in character to one of these very, very kind of high alcohol, high spice American ryes.
Yeah.
It's quite syrupy, but also just loads of pops of kind of cinnamon, clove rock. These just kind of intense spicy notes coming through.
And it's not a sort of. I mean, you could drink it before dinner, I suppose, but it's really more of an after-dinner drink, I think, as well.
Oh, it's one to wrestle a tired palate with, I think. But yeah, glorious dram. Very powerful cask, but I think that kind of rich Highland distillate comes through quite nicely.
Oh yes, on the palate, of course, the cask, the red wine cask shines through, and that's what distinguishes it from every other Blair Athol I think I've ever had before. It is quite strong, isn't it? 56.1, and the age of it was 2009, 12-year-old. Again.
I like the alcohol. I think, for me, when you've got that kind of spicy character of whiskey and high alcohol, the character kind of integrates with the alcohol. The alcohol gives that kind of spicy character, and you've got the same kind of notes coming from the wood. So I think the two pair together is quite. It's nice.
No, I agree, and particularly after dinner when your palate is slightly shot and having had a good dosage of food and wine. So,
sounds ideal.
A lovely way to sort of cruise through the end of the evening.
Slunge.